the grand city of Altdorf, the capital of the empire under Karl Franz. It is beset now by three great armies of chaos: Nurgle, Tzeentch, and Archaon's undivided legion. In a grand combined feat of arms, Karl Franz, Balthasar Gelt, and Volkmar the Grind aim to defend the great city against the oncoming horde. In today's 3v3 battle here, guys, we'll be showing you the City of Altdorf mod, as well as the Ultimate Chaos mod once again. This will be a grueling match through the streets of fair Altdorf as Archaon seeks to claim the prize of the greatest imperial city of our age. And we're starting already off here with Archaon's horde. He's got quite a few Huskarls here. Very similar stat line to the Chaos Warriors, but a little bit better, with some Warriors of Khorne and on the flank, as well as some Chaos Cultists and Followers of Slaughter as well. And these are going to be the cultists that are themed around Khorne. Forsaken being part of the army as well as some Chosen Sword Masters. The Sword Master units, really strong, armor-piercing, armored, of course, anti-infantry melee experts here. As I pop out that cue card so you can see it. We have Archaon as well, and we have a Champion of Khorne that is going to be acting as a bit of a bruiser on our end. But that makes up for Archaon's army. The fair army over here as well, I believe this one is the Tzeentch army. It's got some champions of Tzeentch, as well as Sarthoriel as well, just crawling through the forest here with his mighty wings. You can already see that these walls are down, so they are going to start pushing through these hot gates here. They've got some halberdiers to face against some flatulence, great swords as well as more flatulence, and a nice a flank protector of Zintler's Reiksguard. Archaon's horde actually has no one protecting its gates, so he's kind of got a free reign to bulge through here with just the Demogryph or the Royal Altdorf Graphites as the only protection here. We've also got some other Empire units scattered throughout the entirety of Altdorf, and I do apologize if we get some frame drops. It is quite the city, but there is a mighty temple of Sigmar here, which we can really say is one of the holdfasts of the entire keep, as well as this, what I would assume is the actual castle itself. And then we also have one final invading force of this one. I wanted, yes, Nurgle for sure. Nurgle is already pouring through the sides here. Chaos Warhounds plenty of actual warriors of Nurgle, some aspiring champions, plague reapers of Nurgle, which are very deadly creatures, as well as a sorcerer of Nurgle, which we know that even though it says death, it is the sorcerer and the knights of Nurgle as well, and then a great Chaos Lord Chaos Lord of Nurgle, following up the entirety of that army with a vanguard force pushing through. Oh, right into them, pushing through right here as they already kind of catch a glancing blow from the Temple Hoth Luminarch right into all of them. Not doing a ton of damage, but it did do quite a bit to those Chaos Cultists. Let's start seeing this in real time, huh? Champion of Nurgle here leading this unit right into these here Free Company Militia. I thought those were handgunners at first. Should be coming into range here quite soon. Ooh, but did dodge that. Let's see how things are going through this main breach. I'd say this is one of the first real big fights of the entire match. Is this breach? This is going to be a pretty important one. A lot of aspiring champions and cultists here to really eat up that fodder, but there is a big backbone of Chaos Knights coming in here. We've got some Bringers of Change, some Warriors of Tzeentch, as well as some Fallen Knights of Chaos as well. A champion here leading the way. Oh, the first big charge. I didn't mean to just slow that down so quickly. Got these Chaos Cultists pouring right into some regular units here. Gonna see some real heavy action throughout the entirety of this cast here, guys. This all pours out in and out of Altdorf by the College of Magic all over the place. Already getting skewered onto the mighty legions, the mighty halberdiers, and cultists as they meet mid-ground. Flagellant's starting to push up there as well. Ooh. Everything's starting to meet in the middle. We do still have this one open portion of Hellstorm, or I'm sorry, that was actually the Tzeentch ability to just bombard from the champions coming down there. There's their ability to shoot some magic missiles across the land. A When they are targeted to specific monsters, they do quite a bit of damage. Archaon's horde, slow moving, but getting through the gate here. He does have quite a contingency of actual Chaos Knights and Warriors, so it's going to be a bit of a slow moving army. But these Exalted Knights with pole arms are going to be able to take out any large creatures such as those Royal Griffites. Let's take a look at how Nurgle's army is doing. Looks like Volkmar is heading on over to... Oh, a net! It's going to let those Free Company Militia a chance to break from engagement and start shooting on him again. Uh-oh. 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 Oh! Headshot. Oh, skewering. 2, 3, 4, 5. Man, 6 units. All nailed by the Luminarch. Powering up again. Do have a Warrior Priest here. Kind of skirting along the sides. See how the main force of the Nurgle is doing. They've hit quite a bit of a stalemate. Slammed him with this Warrior Piece, trying to cut him up a little bit. Already starting to flee. This army is not to be stopped so quick. And that is... Oof. Already getting some shots poured on by these handgunners. That is true of Nurgle in Tabletop. Tabletop Nurgle is extremely resilient. Tons of toughness, tons of goodies coming out of Nurgle in general. All sorts of Last Samurai action going on. Follow these guys as they go through the hot gates. Spells going off. Another net. Ooh, all over the place. Those Chaos Warhounds right into those silver bullets. It's going to at least stop their firing for just a little bit while those nets kind of clear the way. See how the hot gates are going over here as well. There's tons of choke points, so I'm going to be using that term hot gates a little too much, I think. Oop. Whereas there's a Zinch starting to pour through. Oh, amazing. I love the way these units look. So cool. Little cleavers and everything. We do have some Forsaken trying to push the back line from Archaon's horde. See what they can do about at least trying to help out. But they are going to get intercepted by 2 Empire captains and well, sorry, Geld. But those greatswords are going to mulch up those Forsaken. They're not meant for that kind of fighting. At least we've got some followers of Slaughter coming in with their great swords to at least trying to turn the tide over here as well. And the rest of the Archaon's cultist army is looking to help out Sarthael's army by at least trying to get some units onto him quickly. The rest of Archaon's army, on the other hand, is engaging with these Outriders. Archaon himself has routed the Royal Griffites. And his knights are slow moving, but they'll get to where they need to be. Let's jump on over here. Silver Bullets have already fled. The slow moving, but again, very resilient Knights of Nurgle starting to push, or I'm sorry, Warriors of Nurgle pushing through the city of Altdorf. They've won 2 or 3 of their major engagements, but they do have quite a bit of fighting up ahead for them. Oh! This is going to be a good one. This is going to be a good one. Now keep in mind, this is the ability from Nurgle that is going to be the breath attack that, oh, and look at it just kind of creep through all of that. Oh man, all those great swords getting completely annihilated by that breath of Nurgle there. If I bring this back up, we're going to see that unit strength. Yeah, that was at pretty much full strength before this engagement started there. Oof. All one's already breaking from that shot alone. Quite a bit of damage coming out from just that single Chaos Sorcerer. My Lord is under attack. Oh, that's right. If you haven't guessed, I'm playing Archaon. Which is why I'm not focusing on him as much. But we do have a Balthazar Gelt pretty low already. The Empire Captains are getting in there and doing quite a bit of damage. They are meant to be kind of a assassin-y type role here because we have Sarthoriel pretty low from these, probably the combined effort of these two and Balthazar Gelt as well. But, we do have the Warriors of Tzeentch pushing their way slowly through this choke point. Firing lines of plenty shooting off here right into those aspiring champions. But he still has quite a large backline of cavalry. Look at all that. Look at all that last samurai getting done here. But now that they're free of that choke point, there can be a lot of riding through. We got the Knights of Tzeentch starting to push through and everything. Oh yes. Another charge here. Got these spearmen coming in headlong. There's really just pockets and pockets of resistance. Like, you've got all of these bringers of change here, but then you've got them backed by these spearmen. Then you've got all of these great swords here, but they're completely surrounded by knights and warriors of chaos. See how things are going with the cultist army over here, because as they try to duke it out with the demographic knights with halberds, a lot of them are really starting to get mucked up in this engagement in general. There's not a lot of anti-infantry with these units, but the followers of Slaughter, you can see they are infantry in frenzy, but they don't have AP, so they're going to be at a bit of a disadvantage here. Archaon is pushing through the city as the rest of his legions make their way slow and ponderously on a bit of a tourist detour of the Great School of Magic. As you can see, the College of Magic is very important to the entirety of Altdorf. This is where Teclis brought magic to the Empire, but that's neither here nor there. Moving now over here to the Nurgle fight. Things have gotten a little bit hairier now for Nurgle. This fight is a little bit more one-sided. Oh, look at that banishment doing tons of damage to warriors of Nurgle right there. Chunking out. This was at a pretty high unit strength beforehand, but we do have a great... Oh, there it is. That plague breath coming through. Oh, I meant to slow-mo that, sorry. That plague breath coming through right there. Oh, and there it is again. Tons of damage coming out. Tons of damage coming out from Nurgle. But the resilience is high on them as well. These Outriders are going to do quite a bit of damage, though. Karl Franz in the thick of it, which is unwise against a Chaos Lord of Nurgle. Jump on over here. We can see that Volkmar the Grim has completely routed, for the most part, the one leg of the Nurgle army that was under this champion. Still at full health and with 36 kills. So Volkmar has done quite a bit of damage to one leg of the Nurgle army. But the Nurgle army shan't be defeated so easily. As we've said, they're quite resilient as they go to relieve their brethren. This engagement was a bit of a wash. Ooh, Hellstorm ripping through everything. And by Hellstorm, everything I mean mainly his own units. Vortexes are always tricky. You never know if they're going to be to your advantage, to your disadvantage, or if they're just going to wander off like this and not help anyone, or come right into your units. Oh, just right through all those knights. Oh, a saving grace. Balthazar Gelt almost out, almost scot-free. And he takes off. But does he make it? Does he make it? And Tzeentch nails him with a magic missile, knocking him right out of the sky. Balthazar Gelt is down. That is the first lord we have to exit stage left. That's like one of those like really corny lines when you see like in a show. I bet he exited stage left. Trying to hunt down Karl Franz here. If we can break the back of the leadership of the Empire, we can break the back of the Empire as a whole. But you can see that the cultist fight over here for Archaon's forces did not go so well. But we do have that Champion of Khorne coming in to help, as well as these Knights of Tzeentch to kind of help tip the favors, or the scales in our favor. And with that as well, we have Archaon's force finally coming to the fore, having zero resistance in the back, but for the most part, that zero resistance meant that he was late to every party. You know, these fallen Knights of Chaos kind of trolling through the backlines here, trying to do any kind of damage they can. But the Plague Reapers of Nurgle are doing whatever they can to try and stay alive, but with those that combined firing squad in the back there and being held up by those great swords, it is going to be a bit of an issue. Ooh, look at those flagellants coming in. They're not going to do a ton of damage, but with, again, another firing line pouring and pouring and pouring on that damage. Nurgle is resilient, but there's only so much it can do. Alright, and we have a line being redrawn here from the combined Sartorial and Archaon army as they push across this giant bridge. Champion of Khorne finds himself alone against these flagellants and greatswords. Not a good matchup, not a good matchup indeed. The remainder of Archaon's army kind of just trailing in here. Trying to knock out some of these halberdiers. I think there's another hell cannon. Yeah, there it is. The Hellblaster volley cannon gun in the back there. Uh-oh. The Templehof. Hath it found a new target? Karl Franz in bad shape as it is. He's a little bit under half health here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Another net of Amontech. Amontkesh. Sorry, that's Magic the Gathering. I always make that confused. But without any real ranged anything, that's not as terrifying as it seems. But there is still plenty of battle to be fought. We have a full unit of Free Company militia. We've got another whole unit of handgunners over here. We do have some Knights of the Blazing Sun. We still have the Templehof Luminarch up, as well as some more roving cavalry here and there. But this is what's left of the Chaos Sorcerer. Oh, Luminarch! Didn't see that where that went, but it probably did capture a couple Plague Reapers there. What's really come down to now is Archaon's army squaring off against the remnants of the Empire army, because Sarthariel's army is very, very dilapidated at this point. Whereas Tzeentch cutting up what's left of these great swords. They have a very high defense, as you can tell here. They do magic damage, they do flaming damage, 100 melee defense with Silver Shield, so they're very strong here. But the fight is still very much not over. Even though Archaon is almost still at full strength, both militarily and health-wise, there's still plenty of things that can tip the scales, as I've been saying. These Empire captains going to be a little bit more of a sniper type role going on here. But there's plenty of things that have now completely surrounded what's left of the Plague Army. Oh man, Luminarch dishing out some damage, and then we've got something coming. I think we all know what it is. The Net of Amontech. But doesn't do as much damage to large creatures. With those Free Company militia now in firing line, got charges all aplenty. Those nets are really going to do quite a bit of damage here. Completely surrounded, charged to bits, being shot down. Nurgle's army does not look it's going to be in good order here. Ooh. Of course, here he comes, Volkmar the Grim. I've come to save the day. Nurgle's army shattering, falling apart. All that's left is the Chaos Lord of Nurgle himself, and he's already in bad shape as it is. Getting ridden, just ridden all over by Volkmar. Warrior priests all over the place, punching and scrapping and throwing hammers. There's just no way to live. Chaos Sorcerer is already dead. As you can see by looking at the mini-map, not much going on over on the other side of the battlefield just yet. People are starting to redraw battle lines and begin new engagements coming up very soon here. We shall watch the Chaos Lord of Nurgle get taken apart bit by bit. Turin's mighty army of plague falls asunder, as in a very interestingly cinematic way. There he goes, fleeing off the battlefield, dead. And now we come to the remnants of what is left. These fallen knights charging right headlong in for these handgunners, breaking them almost immediately. Those handgunners are really starting to pour it on. Time to bring those Huskarls to bear. Swordmaster's kind of being letting the damage of the Huskarls absorb everything. But you're probably wondering, what was that? Oh, it was a Net of Amontech. Who would have guessed? But plenty of those going off here. You can see how really devastating those are. This is me not knowing that if it's already been cast, you can still net yourself by running into it. But these nets of Amantah can really, really change the flow of battle for you, because not only do they hold them down, but afterward, it completely cancels whatever their order was. So it does give... oh man, Luminarch shooting right into Archaon, knocking a ton of his health out. Full unit of Altdorf Gryphite still, pretty much. Ooh, just missed that big beam from Archaon. That would have been quite a bit of damage into Karl Franz there. Cycle charging on that Empire captain. We have the Huskarls engaged now with these Free Company militia, these great swords, some of these flagellants really starting to pull up. Warriors of Khorne getting in there as well. Blood for the Blood God, skulls to the Skull Throne. Got these Bringers of Change though to help out these Royal Gryphite. They're going to be our anti-large units that are really going to help save the day here. The Champion of Khorne, but we do have a very important duel beginning. Altdorf, or not Altdorf, Karl Franz and Archaon locked in a bitter duel. I'll pan this up a little bit so we can see their health. We can see Karl Franz is a little underwhelmed by comparison to Archaon. Archaon's leadership is a little bit lower though, so let's see who can break first, who can win first. The whole battle raging on behind them, right under the eyes of Sigmar. Banishment ripping through Archaon's army as it tears them asunder. You can look at all the unit strengths of Archaon's army is starting to dip down pretty heavy. Nets of Amantah going wild, and the final death throes of Karl Franz seem to be within grasp. Oh, that was the Tzeentch bombard ability kicking in here. Karl Franz down to 34 health. 34 health. And there it is. The Emperor of the Empire falls to the mighty Archaon the Ever-Chosen. But still, we do have a full strength of Volkmar the Grim. This is by no means decided. Archaon does round the corner here. Some of the units of his army starting to regather their wits about them as the Emperor has fallen. Oh man, that Luminarch still doing tons of damage as it knocks everything around. Uh-oh. Oh man, look at that. That was from the Champion of Tzeentch. Shooting a magic missile out, trying to do everything they can to topple the mighty Volkmar the Grim. He's now completely surrounded. Archaon, over here in the corner. The Luminarch looking for any kind of attack angle he can get on the mighty Archaon. Volkmar starting to heavily be chipped down here. The Grand Hammer of Sigmar not going to help him in this case. But Archaon does not flee from a fight for long. Just pushing through the whole horde. Volkmar surrounded more and more and more. Archaon trying to get through. Excuse me, pardon me. Running in opposite directions. The Luminarch now fleeing. Volkmar the Grim. Banishment ripping through even more of what's left of the Chaos Army. That is a very devastating ability here. Finally, we got the mighty... Also, that was Sarthoriel. Archaon the Ever-Chosen himself. The last Lord. Oh, Tzeentch from Magic Missile catching Volkmar a little bit here. Getting surrounded once more. It's time to finish this. Uh-oh. 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 What can happen here? That's more Tzeentch abilities, by the way, just so we're clear on that. everything really kind of coming down hot and heavy on it. I believe Archaon is just about dead at 391 health. And boom! Volkmar explodes at the very end to tie up this siege of Altdorf. What a fitting end to right in front of the mighty statue of Sigmar. Volkmar falls. You've got the mighty Karl Franz dead. Balthasar Gelt dying over on the bank on the opposite shore. Quite the cinematic ending to the grand siege of Altdorf. And as you can see how everything performed here. Archaon doing a staggering 84 kills on his own. Nothing else in his army not performing as well as, say, maybe the Sword Masters, the Exalted Knights, who were able to knock out some cavalry early in the game, as well as the Fallen Knights of Chaos, really getting a good charge in on the handgunners. But Gabo King, who was controlling Sarthoriel, stuck with it to the bitter end. His Knights of Tzeentch really did a lot of damage here, and his champions were in almost until the last bit of the fight. Sarthoriel did get knocked out pretty early by a combined effort of John Ton's Empire Captains and Balthasar Gelt, which is always a funny name to say out loud when it comes to killing something. But John Ton's army of great swords and overall his defense of that one gap that Sarthoriel was pouring through was really an amazing kind of last stand there. I mean, he held that line alone for quite a bit. And these armies were comparable somewhat in size. Taking a look at Turin's mighty Nurgle army and Black Iron's, actually Black Iron was controlling Karl Franz, so Black Iron was actually squared off. Nevada and Black Iron were both squared off more with Turin than anything else. 176 kills coming out of these Royal Altdorf Griffites, 140 kills coming out of the Luminarch, which was there until the very end. It just happened to shatter at the end. But take a look at Volkmar, 148 from his Doom Chariot, riding through, riding dirty, didn't give a shit about anything. But 82 kills off of these Free Company Militia as well, did very strong for Nevada. And then with Black Iron's army, you have a lot of damage coming out of these handgunners and these great swords as well. And the Light Wizard, I believe everyone had a Light Wizard? Or, oh man, so it was just Black Iron's Light Wizard was netting everything the entire game. It was really impressive to see those nets getting used to amazing use. And the Hellblaster guns didn't really get a chance to come online because they were shut down pretty early because of the way that Altdorf was shaped. In the street battles, it's harder to get those online a little bit. But you can see from Turin's army, these Plague Reapers of Nurgle did just so much damage. 164, 131. You have these Knights of Nurgle doing 110. You have the Chaos Lord himself doing 228, and that's from the breath attack and the explosion attacks that he was triggering off here and there. Like, where's that Chaos Sorcerer? Okay, that Chaos Sorcerer did 51 kills, and it was probably from that one slow-mo Plague Breath that we had shown, as well as the Champion of Nurgle doing the same damn thing. So overall, this was an amazing fight, guys. It was a lot of fun. It was super epic in its scale and scope and everything, and hopefully you enjoyed kind of the play off of everything and the little kind of intro in the beginning to get an idea of what kind of fight you guys were in for. So if you want to see more of these thematic battles, please let us know. Feel free to comment, suggest more mods, suggest more fights you'd love to see. We will start doing maybe some lore history fights, you know, some of the War of the Beard, for instance, or stuff like that, to really kind of drive home some of the things that are coming out on Total War Warhammer 2, as well as a lot of the lore that you guys seem to really enjoy. But thanks for watching here today, guys. Hope you enjoyed everything, and have a good one. Take care.